So we got a story coming out of Italy going on here. This is a problem that exists in many, many countries, or a problem in a certain sense, but whether or not it's a real problem is up for debate. It says birth rate in Italy hits 160-year low. The Italian Statistics Office has said there's little doubt about the impact of the pandemic on the country's falling birth rate. Now, I don't know too much about Italians, but I definitely know that in Italy, they definitely put olive oil in their pasta when they're boiling it, and they definitely dip their pizza in ranch. And I think when they're boiling the spaghetti, I think they break it in half and then put it into the boiling pot. But that's pretty much it. But this is a problem that's going on right now in all countries. Birth rates are falling. There are countries where, due to the coronavirus, it's accelerating the issue. This is not an issue that solely exists because of the coronavirus. It's just being exacerbated by the coronavirus. And so Russia, for example, had a huge peacetime collapse. It's the largest peacetime population decline in history. And I forget what the number was. It was pretty alarming rate, but they're already predicted to lower their population because there's like a really high death rate there, and then people just aren't having children. So it says birth rates in Italy fell for the 12th consecutive year in 2020, reaching their lowest level since 1861, new figures show. Statistics from ISTAT show that in 2020, births in Italy were reduced by 15,192 on 2019 levels, while the average number of children per woman was at 1.17, coming in as one of the lowest ratios in the world. In 2020 in Britain, the fertility rate was 1.59 children per woman. Italy's slump has continued into 2021 as January saw Italy's lowest ever birth rate. 10 months after Italy's coronavirus lockdown, the country registered a 13.6% decline in births, translating to nearly 5K fewer births compared with January 2020. Similarly, provisional data for January to September showed that there were 12,500 fewer births recorded this year compared with the same period last year. ISTAT has said that the pandemic appears to be a major factor in the decline in people having children. The low birth rates recorded are part of an ongoing trend, however. Italian births have fallen by 1/3 in just over a decade. God damn. In 2020, a total of 404,892 babies were born, compared with 576,659 born in 2008. Families with two Italian parents account for the majority of the decline, with some regional disparity. So a lot of countries are being impacted by the birth rate decline and also being exacerbated by the coronavirus pandemic. Some of the countries that have higher death rates, like Russia, will be even more impacted. Now, whether or not the birth rate is an issue here, right, it seems to be the reason why people are having less. There's a lot of progressives, I think, who say that, oh, nobody can afford to have a kid, that's why they're not having kids. It's shown that poor people have more kids than people who are educated. Really, it seems that the main reason is because women are getting an education and they simply decide, I don't need to have kids. I don't want to have kids. I want to focus on myself, enjoy my life. That seems to be the main driver. So it seems like when women get educated, they just have less children because they're focusing on their own careers. And so whether or not this is an issue, like people who say it's an issue are usually corporations that need people to either do slave labor for them or need people to buy their very commercialized products, planned obsolescent products. So whether or not it's really a problem in that sense, like, no, it's not. But currently with the way that the Social Security system is set up, you need like a certain amount of workers to support a retiree. And so once your number of workers, middle-aged workers, declines, there won't be enough money flowing to pay for the people who are who are receiving Social Security, and that will make the whole system collapse. So China is going to face this problem as a result of the one-child policy. That's really going to hit them in the rear end very, very soon. Even though they reverse that, it's too late. But what's going to end up happening, now there are two routes. One of them is going to be incentivizing more births, which I haven't read the data on this as to whether or not this works. But ideally, I would assume if you wanted to entice people to have children, you would have free childcare, you would have free schooling, you would give tax incentives, money incentives to people to have children. That's essentially what you would do. That's what you would assume. So either the government does that, or you could the one thing that might throw a wrench in all of this is automation. Like, where does automation play a role in this? I'm just not sure. Does automation make it so that it's not necessary? Immigration is another thing that helps offset these problems. So, what exactly is going to be the reality when automation sets in? I'm just not really sure. But this is an issue that's going around all over the world right now, and it's yet to be seen what exactly is going to be done about it. And I know that, there's something you see in countries even that have like good welfare states like Germany. So whether or not it really, even the free childcare and stuff would entice people to have children or not, I don't even know if that's efficacious or not. But that's yet to be seen. I haven't seen any data on it yet.